Hello, dear followers. Today at Learning Global Network, we are having an interview with Wasay from Pakistan, who is like international student at Northwestern University in Qatar. Today we will gonna talk about everything like tricks, how to apply, how to write essays for specifically Northwestern University Qatar. So hello, Wasay, nice to see you today. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, sure. It's nice to be here. My name is Mohammed Wasimir. I am student freshman at Northwestern University in Qatar, and I'm from Pakistan, as you said. Um, the introduction about me is that I was a high school student, like most of your viewers, and I found Northwestern Qatar, and I'm here to talk about my journey.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, let's start from the most interesting question. So why you specifically choose Northwestern University in Qatar? Why specifically Qatar? What you like?
Well, it had not everything to do with preference, like Northwestern Qatar, it had something to do with fate as well, because initially I thought of going to America, and I applied to different universities. I applied to Northwestern in the early action cycle, and I got in. So Northwestern was a university that I had in my mind, and I got in. So it was a university that I thought I would go to if I don't get into certain universities in the US. And that's what happened. I either didn't get aid or I didn't get accepted. So I turned to Northwestern, and what Northwestern Qatar was offering, and Qatar in specific, to answer your question, was that it was very near to my home. That's one factor. So homesickness, it wasn't that big of a deal for me personally. It's like a 3-4 hour flight. The second thing I would say was that the financial aid was absolutely amazing. And I don't think there are many universities in the world which offer such great financial aid. So financial aid was definitely a factor. And the third factor was that I had heard great things about Northwestern Qatar. A senior of mine studies there. Some other friends studied there. So I'd heard great things. So based on that, based on the bit of research that I did, I came to the conclusion that I wanted to go to Northwestern Qatar.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Yeah, exactly. So as you said, like most of the audience who are watching us, they are mostly interested, as you said, like so scholarship part, because there's no like so much university which provide you have fully scholarships. Yeah, that's great. So I see you are now studying like online, like you are now in Pakistan. So you started your first semester and successfully completed it online. So can you tell a bit more about your experience in online, having online classes at Northwestern?
Sure. An online semester was tough. It was challenging. I had the good fortune to go to Qatar. I actually arrived about 10 days ago back to Pakistan for the holidays. But even in Qatar, the my education on my whole semester was online. So it was a Zoom experience, as they say, and it was challenging. It had its challenges, but it's what circumstance gets you to do if it was necessary. Like life must go on, as they say. So yeah, I had certain issues, attention. You can't pay so much attention sitting on a screen. But overall, I would say that it was good. Like I didn't find it that monotonous. I didn't find it that bad. If you're disciplined, if you're focused, the teachers were great. They put in a lot of effort, especially in Northwestern. They made a whole online world for us in which we could prepare for our exams and study. And it was great for me personally.
Yeah, exactly. So you had online classes, and how you managed to like collaborate with the students, with your classmates, let's say. How was it?
Well, yeah, that was another thing. I was always concerned about how I would, have that real freshman university experience, because you want to meet new people, you want to hang out with them, and through an online interface, it's very hard to do that. But what I found was that over social media, just like chatting, getting to know people, meeting up in places. So again, it wasn't that big of a problem for me, because I reached out and people reached out and we linked up and we met. I was successfully made a lot of good friends there, but it definitely is hard. I still don't. I haven't met a lot of my batch, the people in my grade specifically. But the people I have met, I've managed to make friendships. It was challenging, but again, you have to overcome the challenges.
Yeah, exactly. I see you like had a at the dormitory at Education City. So you're living with a lot of students from other universities like Georgetown, Carnegie Mellon, Weill Cornell, and other universities. So you had like friends from other universities too.
Yeah, in Qatar, that's a good thing because there's an education city, and anyone who plans on coming to Qatar should research up on this. There's an education city basically. It's a separate area made in Qatar for education, specifically dedicated education, and all these different universities, as you mentioned, Texas A&M and Cornell, Qatar, Georgetown, Northwestern, of course. They're all in education city, and the dorms, male and female dorms, they're separate, but all the people live together. So we get to hang out with people, guys from Georgetown, from other universities as well. Yeah, because we live together basically in the building. So yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah, I think it was really amazing to
Yeah.
have hang out with them. You can discuss everything, so you can make projects with them, easily
Yeah.
collaborate. Uh, what about like cultural experience? So, did you meet like students from all other from different countries? Like, how was it? Can you a bit tell about it a little bit?
Sure. Northwestern has a very diverse student body. This year, I think there are 51 different countries that are being represented, which is pretty great. So I got the chance to meet a lot of people from different nationalities from actually four different continents, I think. Of course, I met people from Uzbekistan, people from Africa, people from South America, Asia, and other areas of the world. The cultural experience for me was very enriching. It's very nice to meet people of different cultures. It's very nice to meet people who you're not familiar with, so you can learn more about their culture. Um, as far as the culture shock is concerned, like, some people, when they go to a different country, they feel out of place. They feel like they're in some alien land and they find it hard to fit in. I didn't really find that in Qatar. I think it was very easy to fit in for me personally, and I think for a lot of other people as well, to fit into their culture. They have a very specific, different culture, the Qatari people as well, but it is welcoming. Like you have the feeling that you're welcome into their culture as well.
Yeah, I think the main reason is like your Pakistan and Qatar is like all like Muslim countries. That's why it is, I think, pretty same culture. So that's really
Yeah.
great. So you go to from Muslim to Muslim country. Yeah, that's amazing. So at Northwestern, so after like finishing the freshman, so which major you want to choose, like journalism or media communications?
Well, I'm thinking about going to journalism right now. I haven't made my final decision. I'll still think about it, but I am inclined towards journalism more. There are two majors, as you said, journalism and media and communication. I'm inclined towards journalism.
So what do you think? Why you like specifically choose it? Like you decided you made my mind before attending the classes, I mean, or you just changed my mind after the first semester after having classes?
Well, it was a bit of both, to be honest, because I personally feel like my interests align with more of a journalistic field. I like to explore, I like to question, um, I like to speak, I like to hear, I like to give my opinion on things. So I think those are all things that indicate that someone wants to be a journalist or would be good in a journalistic field. So that's a preconceived notion that I had. And when obviously we had our classes, we had our first semester. So in our first semester, we had both journalism classes and communication classes. And I personally, even though I enjoyed communication class as well, but I was more impressed by and inclined towards journalism. So it had to do with both. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. So you had chance to explore both majors, and you finally made your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's turn to scholarship part. So let's talk about it. So it is the most interesting part, I think, for the students who are watching. So can you tell about a bit about the scholarships and financial aid at Northwestern?
Sure. So Northwestern and some other universities in Qatar, not all of them though, they're very good with aid. They're very generous when it comes to giving aid. Our batch is small. It's not a very huge batch. We have about 140 to 150 people in our batch, and that's not a lot. Like that's half of what I had in school. So, but the people they do accept, especially international students, they do give them aid. About the aid specifically, it's divided into two parts, right? So you apply to Qatar Foundation and they provide you with a loan, and Northwestern provides you with the aid. So it's a mix between the two. It's aid and it's loan. And when you apply for financial aid, then you find out how much you got in aid and how much you got in loan. For example, if somebody gets about, let's say, 90% aid, then they get, for example, someone gets 90% aid, they got 30% loan, 60% financial aid, which you don't have to pay back. For the loan, it's a bit different. For the loan, you have multiple options. You can pay it back in different ways. You can either work in a Qatar Foundation affiliated body after graduating, and your loan automatically reduces and eventually diminishes, or you can work, or you can just pay the loan back. And there's no deadline for time. You can take your time to pay the loan back, but yeah, it's a loan. That's how loans work. So it's a mix between the two. It's a mix between a loan and financial aid. And the more students research into financial aid, the more they'll understand.
Yeah, yeah. It also varies by depending on the student's financial situation, or and at the same time their let's say merit-based award, I think. So some of them, like as you said, like awarded with aid, which is not loan by Northwestern. What do you think? Is it like depends on their, like, let's say it's like a merit-based scholarship, or depending on their financial situation? I mean, the aid which is given by Northwestern specifically.
Yeah, so I think it's a mix of both. It's I think merit scholarships, if I'm not wrong, they're different. Merit scholarships are different and financial aid is different. To apply for a merit scholarship, I think there's a different route you can take. But for financial aid specifically, what I understand is it's a mix of both, right? So your financial situation and your general as a candidate, how strong you are for the aid, how good you are in school. So I think for financial aid, it's a mix of both, how you shape your CSS profile and how you present your financial assets. And for a merit scholarship, I think you can apply for it. I'm not too savvy with that. I don't really know much about that. But for aid, at least, it's a mix of both your financial situation and your merit.
Yeah, depending how you are strong, your loan will be more or less.
That's a tough question. I think that it has to do with your CSS profile, to be very honest. It has to do with, I think in general, you will get aid if you're a good student. If Northwestern has admitted you as an international student, that automatically means that you meet the bar they set. And most of the international students, if like most of them are already on aid. So they meet that bar that is set. And that's a good question. I'm not really too sure about whether it's all about merit, the division between the loan and the aid, or it's only about your financial situation. I'm not too sure about that, so I can't answer that for you. But I think that it has to do something with both, from what I understand.
Yeah, at least they will not pay while they are studying, even it's loan. Yeah, I think we covered everything with scholarship and financial aid part. Okay, let's talk about like Common App specifically. So you applied to Northwestern through Common App.
Yeah, for the Common App, I think Northwestern obviously needs your essay, your Common App essay. With that, your of course, your activity list and all that. You're bringing me back to the time where I applied to all these different universities. And Northwestern had a supplement, of course. And what the recommendations and advice that I would give to prospective students who want to apply to Northwestern is that just research before writing your supplements, research into what Northwestern is, what they offer for your activity list, do activities that align with your prospective majors in the future, be it journalism or media and communications, and just build your profile, work on your personal statements, work on your essay. And for the supplements specifically, I would just say research. And if you're a good writer, if you've done your research, then you'll write a good supplement. But I think that writing a good supplement is very important.
Because it's like, as you said, will provide them a specific information why you specifically choose Northwestern, what you like,
Yeah,
why us essay in short.
yeah. Why the YS essay? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what about like extracurricular part? So what you specifically had while before applying to Northwestern? So what you wrote in your Common App?
For my activity list, I had a bunch of things. I was very active in co-curriculars in my school. I was the MUN Secretary General, so I had done a lot of MUNs. I had done MUNs in Turkey internationally. I chaired MUNs. I was the Secretary General of the society, so that was one thing. Another thing was that I was in the student council. I was in the prefect body. I was a prefect. So like school administration. I worked in numerous non-governmental organizations. I did some community service. That was a part of my activity list. What else? Let me think. I think I also wrote about the things I do personally for fun, my hobbies. I used to do a bit of filmmaking, so that was something I put in, and yeah, that was mostly it.
Yeah, I see, bro. You were pretty active out of the class.
Yeah, yeah, I loved doing co-clickers.
Yeah, exactly. Because specifically in your journalism, you just like you have to do a lot of staying out of the class.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about recommendation letters. So how was it? How you asked from your teacher? From what teachers you asked and why?
For me personally, getting recommendation letters wasn't that hard because I had a good relationship with both of the teachers. One was my biology teacher and one was a history teacher, and I had a very good relationship with them. They were very nice. They were very accommodating. I had to go to them. I had to ask them, and they wrote it for me. And I just had to give them a few reminders. Just keep track, the keep on reminding them that you have to write my recommendation letter and just reviewing it. And yeah, it wasn't really a problem for me. It was fairly smooth because I had a good relationship with them. So for the recommendation letters in specific, I would say that look for teachers who you have good relationships with and who are naturally good writers, who write good recommendation letters. And I think you can tell about a teacher about their literary capabilities. So I think that's very important. And of course, you can't just get them to write a recommendation letter out of thin air. They have to know you, and you have to be like good in their eyes to write a recommendation letter.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, exactly. And did they wrote you like in English or in your own?
It was English. It was in English.
So you studied in a like school which the main language is English. Am I right?
Yeah. Our medium of instruction is English.
So you didn't have to like send your English proficiency test then.
No, we did not.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So what do you think like how like Northwestern like mm, think about these stats? I mean, standardized tests. What do you think? How they are important in your application?
I think for Northwestern, there's no set range, like you have to get between this and this or this and this to get accepted. Of course, you have to have a decent-ish SAT score. Can be too low. I think that they do give consideration to your SAT score. It's not like they don't consider it at all in the application process, but I don't think it holds as much weightage as it does for other American universities. I think that it is definitely important, and there is a certain benchmark number, which again, I'm not sure what that is. You're going to have to do your research on that. But there is a certain benchmark number. You have to get more than that to be considered. Of course, the more, the better. The higher your score, the better your chances at getting accepted. But I think that they don't really have to be super high, or there isn't like a set rule, like if you don't get more than this, then you don't stand a chance. And even though that is the case with most other universities, but for Northwestern, that's not the case. Of course, they expect you to have a decent score, but they don't expect you to hit a specific milestone. So it's flexible, you can say.
Yeah, because it's like, again, it's like holistic approach that they will consider everything you submitted in your application.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They follow a holistic approach. They don't only see your SAT scores, they see a plethora of other things.
And here's the question: what do you think? Like, if some student doesn't have a SAT or ACT, do they have a chance to get admitted to Northwestern? Do you know anyone who got accepted without SAT or ACT?
Personally, I don't know anyone. I'm not sure. I don't know if Northwestern is SAT ACD flexible, if they choose candidates who haven't given either or. But again, you'll have to do your research on this because I'm not the best source for this information because I don't exactly know. As far as I'm concerned, like to my knowledge, I do think that you have to give either the SAT or the ACT. I think Northwestern does want it. It's not a university that's SAT or ACT flexible, but again, don't quote me on this. Go and do your research.
Yeah, fortunately, this year, because of um, COVID-19, so SAT and ACT and everything, even in English proficiency tests, I think it is optional in Northwestern.
Yeah, here I'm not sure if that's the case. Then yeah, that's even better. That means that from my understanding, if it's optional, that means that its importance in the application process won't be as high as it has been in previous years. This year, they'll look at the other factors more: your application, your grades, your recommendation letters, your supplements.
Yeah, exactly. They have to, as you said, focus on their essay recommendation part. So they have to present themselves.
Yeah, of course.
And um, can you, like, at the last part of our interview, can you give like your top best advices for the students who are watching us?
All right. So the top three advices that I would give is firstly, time management. In the last year of high school, it's very hard to strike a balance to keep time. So you have to make sure that you spend your time wisely. You give enough time to your studies, you give enough time to your co-curriculars, and enough time to your supplements and your essays. You don't want to be spending too much time on one thing and sacrificing the other. You have to strike a balance. And for that, what I'd recommend is just being aware of what things, like what's going on, because last year of high school can be a lot. Like it's a frenzy. Like there's so much going on. You have your exams, you have your application, you have deadlines, you have acceptances or rejections or deferrals. So there's a lot you have to handle. But I would say the first advice I would give is time management. Manage your time well. The second advice I would give is hard work. I think it's very important that you work hard and work smart. Two things: work hard and work smart. What I mean by that is that if you think that you will need a good, decent recommendation letter, then make sure that at least in your final year, if not before that, you have a good, healthy relationship with some of your professors, some of your teachers, so they can give you good recommendation letters. And you should, if you don't have a SAT or don't have an ACT, then focus on that, work hard on that. Look at yourself as an applicant, see what your weak points are, what your strong points are, and then spend your time and focus accordingly. Working hard is very important. And I think that self-discipline also comes in this bracket of working hard. You have to discipline yourself. You have to limit certain things, like you have to sacrifice your time, because it's a very important stage in your life, especially this application process. And the third and last point I would say is about your mental well-being. I would say believe, have faith, but don't put too much pressure on yourself, because that's the problem that I personally faced. I had so much pressure piled on me by myself, actually. So that was because I used to overthink. So that was something that I think a lot of people can relate to. And I'd say, like, it's pretty cliche, but I'd say, like, things work out, right? Sometimes what's best for us will unveil itself, of course. And that's where I feel having belief and having firm faith is very important. Like, you should know that whatever is going to happen is going to be good for you, and not taking too much in. Like, take some time out for yourself as well. And that also ties in with time management. Like, try to manage your time well, so you don't get too much mental, like, burden. Go out, exercise, hang out with friends, do activities. Don't take too much pressure. And I wish everyone, especially from your channel, you guys are doing a great job with this. I hope this interview is helpful for somebody out there. So I would say is, don't lose hope, don't lose focus, and keep going. I wish everyone watching this the best of luck.
Yeah, that's really, really amazing, bro. So it is like a must do. They have to
Yeah.
include in their to-do list. So exactly, they have to follow your advice. It is like, I think it's very crucial for all of the students who are applying to US colleges.
Yeah.
Time management, like, and the stress, as you said, is like very crucial. They have to really manage the stress. Yeah, thank you very much having a time to give us interview, Wasai. Thank you, really, your help,
No problem.
for your
It
help.
was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, bro. Good luck with your studies at Northwestern. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah. Today at Learning's Global Network was with you, like Yakub Can Abralov, having interview with Wasai from Pakistan, who successfully admitted to Northwestern University, Qatar. Thank you very much for watching. Follow us on social media. Bye.